bringing Thoth over, like, not take banning Agni. They're gonna regret the Agni ban later. I am so interested. I'm interested to see where the Circuit builds, but how will they handle this dive? On Odyssey, have to be very coordinated with this because Thoth, especially in Dev's hands, is going to be poking for eternity. It's going to be really hard to cover that ground. Surcat and Guan both elect to go to Blink, while the Guardians grab Horrific. Same relics, identical builds almost across the board. The only differences being the Sands of Time on the Thoth, while we're getting Gem on this E-Shell. I wonder if we are going to see a cheeky Bobble build, or are we going to be going the Soul Reaver Ob Shard late? Game number one, wave number one, underway. It's actually a crazy amount of poke turned onto this Guan, a predominant portion of it from the wave itself. Blink, do they have the damage? And a beautiful setup with the blink over the wall. The Bacchus stun into the Circuit blink with the burst from E-Shell. First blood for Honda Odyssey. We talked about being coordinated and make sure that they're on the same page. They exercise that here. I just want them to be very careful and conscious. We start talking about developers, this comp is going to scale, but if they put themselves behind the 8-ball, especially going behind a couple of kills, that scalability is going to semi-disappear. Your first blood in purple being that difference right here. Red's going to be spawning in and after this wave. Thoth drops ult, secures red buff from range. The Bacchus flops in, drops ultimate on 2. While the Guan ults forward, looking for the Circuit, unable to find that stun. But ultimately, all 3 ultimates from developers, 2 used, and a red buff swinging toward developers. A little bit of miscommunication. Maybe it's intentional. The E-Shell hovered towards speed, while Bacchus Circuit head toward the wave. E-Shell clearing speed and minis. There should be first item spikes across the board. Outside of the Guan, obviously getting picked. Still actually able to secure it. Oh, the Bacchus flops in. He's gonna be this target. The Thoth beads to try to secure this ultimate. Doesn't get the chance. One goes down. The Thoth is next target. Is he able to secure it? Just missing the one. And Thoth turns a fully charged ult and wipes Ixchel off the map. It is so unfortunate. The Thoth beadsing one form of CC, then gets the Cobra Kiss pulled out of the ult as well. Just not enough damage from the Surcat to pick up that kill. They are able to find a second kill on the Guan. Ultimately, Ixchel going down, making it go for a 1-for-1. All three members of developers are here. Ixchel just pathing in. And red buff able to be secured off Bacchus flop. Purple secured by developers with this Guan. Bacchus Ixchel pulling blue. Surcat jumps in over, immediately catches this Thoth dash and able to lock him down due to his lack of beads from the previous engagement. Really well played by Honda Odyssey, forcing that fight. Take a peek at leveling order here. So starch difference between Paul leveling the 1 and Bolden leveling the 2.
Take a moment to reflect.
It's a nice little amount of setup. Decent poke onto the Fafnir. Johnson in. Red spawning in now as well. That extension uses Blink. Unfortunately, not able to find a net win there for Honda Odyssey. A good response by developers. It's just a matter of getting a little poke now and set up for this red buff. Guan's the target, but do they have the damage to really secure it? They do not. Thoth. Full charged art. Ultimate turned onto the Surcat. Just not enough to secure the kill. Guan pathing back in. Fafnir detransforms. Red quickly secured behind Odyssey before Guan has the ability to step in. That's interesting. I haven't seen and or been an advocate for coin, but developers with this Thoth actually going coin, Charon's coin, second relic, or excuse me, second item for this Thoth. You like the build? Fair enough. The Divine into coin. Has 10% cooldown from the alternate time. Excuse me, from Sands of Time, but the Thoth connects it to Sir Cat. Grabs this Thoth, dropping alt, but not any damage follow-up directly after. So 2 ults for 2 ults. A net even trade at the end of the day. However, we do get this beads off of this Thoth. So there is a window here now for Honda Odyssey to be looking for Thoth, which they are hovering right now. Bath drops all. Sir Cat's got to be the target. Horn Shard popped for the cooldowns for this Bacchus. After it jumps forward, able to get the stun and force beads off this E-Shell. Red spawning in here momentarily. So developers trying to poke as much as possible to gain that red pressure. They've done pretty well, especially with no beads. No beads on this E-Shell. She has to be very careful. She does have ult for that CC immunity. Continuing to throw those 2s to help heal this Sir Cat Bacchus, the Divine proccing in response to it. One ult dropped. E-Shell forced to ult. And a red buff secured by developers on the retreat. Slowly trying to fight their way back into this game. There's not a massive lead. Just short of 1,000 gold for Honda Odyssey. Thoth beads are coming up at 40. Dev's taking his time, which makes me think he's trying to figure out what item, if not a full item, he's going. Instead, grabs a T2 Staff of Mirrodin, which is immediately going to give him another 10%, so a 20% cooldown here for this Thoth, matching the cooldown from the 20%. Cronus Pendant for this E-Shell. Sir Cat. The blink forward, an ultimate dropped onto Faf, who immediately just jumps away. Thoth trying to connect with this E-Shell from range. Knock of immunity used from the Guan. Bacchus jumped under tower. Faf transformation just not able to catch or CC this Bacchus under tower. It should just be the end of that, and the only real net win there being Johnson going to Honda Odyssey, as all ultimates are used on both sides. And both DPS all have relics. This is a fair amount of relic usage, I guess I should point out. Still down here for Honda Odyssey, while we have everything up for developers, so they have a small advantage. A possible window of opportunity, especially with red spawning. Red just spawned. We do have percent pen on both sides. Just a matter of throwing a Soul Reaver on. Oh. Red, actually, with his E-Shell burst, able to be secured by Honda Odyssey. Nice little flick stun onto the Fafnir. curious at what point. It might come down to, like, when we talk about this game, one of two things is going to happen. The Thoth finds an immaculate ult onto this E-Shell, essentially deleting her from the map, or this Sir Cat Bacchus are going to be able to get on top of this Thoth, lock it down, if not kill themselves, get a little follow-up from this E-Shell and turn it into a 2v3. Would be how I envision that fight going well. We're starting to get in the territory. 15 minutes in. I know those 20 minutes. Starting to see full items. If not, level 20s. Looking at Bull. If this turn continues to turn into a gridlock. It's been semi-even ever since those 2 to 3 kills for Honda Odyssey. Decent burst onto the Guan. A beautiful blink from the Sir Cat forces Thoth, beads, and dash, but do they have the damage? The Thoth ult comes through, hitting the Sir Cat, and this double front line able to secure it off of it. So Sir Cat goes down. Can they find the second onto this Bacchus? The Thoth looking for that range. Michelle has relics. Aegis just a little late. Bacchus still on base. This might actually be a T1. A T1 off of a pick with the Sir Cat, which I thought was a beautiful start of the fight with this engage from the Sir Cat. Turns into devastating with the lockdown followed up by a Thoth ult onto the Sir Cat and almost losing a second in this Bacchus. Should bring us, yeah, I would say, almost brings us to even state with that T1. I'm a little shocked. So we're at 40% pen for this Thoth, but a Rada Tahuti here for the Thoth. I'm assuming this could be a Soul Reaver final slot. I've heard plenty that the Scepter on Guan does immaculate things. Sir Cat able to get on top of the Thoth, forces beads. They have the damage to follow up off it. They do. Guan goes down off that setup and initiation from the Sir Cat. Can they find another pick? A potential T1 off the back of that pick. They are able to pick the Thoth. Both relics go down as well. He's down for 35. Do they immediately path in, post this Faf ult, and get a potential T1 to themselves? Or will the two front line from the developers be able to defend this? Instead, it looks like a bull call. A reg ward here. Thaw still down for 15. Neither ult up for Guan or Faf. Guan will actually be coming up shortly. They know the health bar. They know when they have to get in. Juan does have Blink. Instead, elect to back off. Go for this Johnson. Thoth charging alt from range. He doesn't have relics for 60. So this can be a little rough for him to step up, especially with this Surcat hovering on the side. She doesn't have Blink for 32. She does have ultimate up. They're forced to reclaps backwards to help deal with this E-Shell. Is the damage there? This double front line able to pick this E-Shell without the Thoth's help. What was a window of opportunity for Honda Odyssey with Bull turns into a devastating one. This E-Shell goes down. Deadly appreciate the Prime sub for 4 months. Hopefully you're enjoying the league, sir. Excuse me, sets all night? No, most of it. Apologize, Pookie. Hopefully you enjoy yourself. It's a double bobble final slot, going for this 50% cooldown for this Guan Fafnir. It means no honor to give you PTSD. That means you get to run rampant in those queues, man. You just get to be built different. Developers not quite yet comfortable enough to step forward. Playing extremely hesitant. I would assume they're playing for starters here. Waiting for that level 20, if not the gold, for the Guan Yu Fafnir. Looking for a push off of that. Curious how close he is. Roughly 350. A red spawning momentarily. Should be a red. Look for back for starters for these two frontliners. From there, that's your power spikes. You're looking to take a fight. However, you have two starters on the other side. This game, 23 minutes in, going to come down to a single team fight. Only difference, in my opinion, is going to be this 50% cooldown for the developers in this double front line, but also this Thoth reaching full build. That should be the full starters. A possible Soul Reaver shortly here for Thoth. So starters on all 6 characters / gods within this game. and almost full item slots as we're just finishing up for these two, and Thoth trying to finish that Soul Reaver. I'm a little shocked at their team feeling comfortable enough to go for that all-in, recognizing it's going to come down to this one-team fight, taking their time, waiting for someone to slip up, if not communicate it once full item slots are on. Everyone playing so carefully. Cat backing, looking for a finish to bobble. Able to find it. That 50% cooldown for herself as well. Now the only ones that aren't full item slots is this Thoth Bacchus. They have enough damage. They have more than enough damage to immediately blow up. Oh my god! The Guan was picked for the Thoth full range. Almost immediately blows up the E-Shell in response, forcing the E-Shell to back. What was a beautiful start to a fight almost turned into a horrendous one off a Thoth ult. There's your full item slots for everyone in this team. They have a 10-second power play left in Guan. I'm wondering if they're going to clear a wave and look for a bullfight, or they're going to push T1. Guan's still down for 3. Cat doesn't have this blink up. Guan spawn, both frontliners pathing in. So that fight that just happened before, completely irrelevant at this point, as all relics short of this blink, and the final ult just coming up. So the window just closed. Is Bacchus or Cat lurking like sharks in the water for this Thoth, waiting for a possible step up. Cat has Blinken too. They're looking for this E-Shell. Fafnir jumps in. That should be the go button. So Faf ultimate expended. Thoth was thinking about it from range. Fire blink onto the Thoth. Forces beads. Target selection off that jump in. Good Aegis from E-Shell to make sure she immune the damage from the Thoth and able to turn that damage back onto the Faf. Can they find a second pick? This would be game if they could finish this kill. Thoth is the only one standing. Both frontliners down for 50 seconds and no beads. Their window of opportunity is in front of them. This Thoth has to do it all. He doesn't have ultimate or beads up. This could be a rough situation. You got to keep in mind, however, the E-Shell doesn't have relics either. It looks like the only thing they're going to be able to secure at this particular moment is the T1. That Thoth damage from range proving too much to handle. Fafnir spawn, Guan spawning in now. The wards in hand in preparation for this bullfight. Both T1s down. 30 minutes into game number 1. Neither one of these teams, as this is week 5, trying to make sure they give themselves the best opportunity with seeding going into the tournament/playoff. Trying to claw out this set. At this point, I'm favoring Honda Odyssey, just waiting for these double relics from eShell, making sure she has that survivability from this dive. But Guan Yu seems to be the target, and the burst off of just this blink double alt. Able to find a pick down for 50. Should be an easy bull for Honda Odyssey. I am super curious what that timer is on the Circuit alt due to the 50% cooldown. Juan's still down for 30. They could easily look for a push here. Full item slots available. Thoth does have alt. And in my opinion, it's going to come down to an Aegis off this E-Shell if given the opportunity for this Thoth. Thoth still down for 6. Can they find some damage? Are they looking for this all-in? Guan spawned. Are they going to find some potential chase? Fafnir with this ranged leap. For those of you that don't know that reference from Bolden, he talks about these inner demons mainly because he has this urge constantly to jump in with this pick, constantly getting himself in trouble. Wait, I was responding to a message, look back and immediately see a Zeus pick? Devv trolls? Question mark? This pick does an absurd amount of damage. Do not get me wrong. But when I think of Devv and I think of this survivability and positioning typically exceptional by Devv, I don't really think Zeus. The big portion of this valued pick would be, hey, you drop this alt and Zeus alt on top. The problem I have is all 3 of them have leaps to get out or away from those particular ultimates. I'm a little concerned. It might be a potential drop Zeus alt on Raijin alt. This is a high damage, higher risk comp by the developers. But listen, you can't count them out. If they have a plan and coordination, they can put it in action. And a double blink right away for this Odin Cthulhu. They're looking to be the engage. You're back. Welcome back, sir. Get my camera. Appreciate that. Excited to see your next game for your team, sir. So the big thing I'm concerned with You have a double blink. Developers have to be that engage. And that's going to be pretty rough to be the engage into Honda Odyssey. Especially with this Bassett Fafnir. Excited to see our very first Zeus for the BBC Draft Joust League. And who better to pull it off potentially than Devv? The damage trying to come through onto the Zeus, or onto the Bassett, excuse me, from the Zeus. There actually was 2 that were blue buff invades. The problem is it doesn't really net you much of anything, if any, because you get the blue buff invade, drop your own, they clear wave and get purple pressure, so you lose neutral, so it never really goes as a net win is the issue. The Raijin actually dashes in, forced up beads, will it cause first blood though from this double front line almost assuredly. As they're waiting on cooldowns, they're trying to body block. A beautiful peel by this Fafnir. Body block drops horrific. Soden has blink. Not willing to use it. Some beads from both DPS, Raijin and Zeus. And what I would have thought almost assuredly First Blood doesn't have the cooldowns for this Cthulhu or Odin to secure it. Red pulled. You got to be very careful here, as the Guardians are the only ones with alts. That red ticks over the remaining 2 members for developers to level 5. Bassett finds a big ultimate, almost it's going to be turned into a Raijin taunt to keep the Odin under tower, but the damage turned out. We talked about it beginning of the game. Raijin goes into ult, the Zeus drops ult on top and finds a return kill. What I thought would have been a dire situation for the developers turns into a 1-for-1. The First Blood going to be the little bit of difference. The XP favoring developers. I do want to point out, we don't have Phantom Shell or Shell going into Phantom Shell for Honda Odyssey, electing with this Fafnir, hopefully in Alter Breath, or there's all 3 of them having dashes to not need it necessarily. I wonder if that's going to come back to haunt them. Johnson being fought over as purple spawns in. Odin backing could be a potential purple for Honda Odyssey. Wave purple here. Cthulhu and Zeus going to minis. Just be a free wave clear. Would like to see them shift over toward this purple buff that is still up. See, neither team quite recognizing that. Instead, hovering for this red buff. Odin is wrapping on this Raijin. Zeus able to find the damage. The leap just not there for this Odin. Odin almost able to secure that kill onto this Raijin. Raijin didn't want to drop beads. Able to keep them and survive. Ultimately results in a red buff here for Honda Odyssey. No, Honda Odyssey is up 1-0. Developers lost game number 1 with this Thoth. On me. Johnson spawning in. Purple pinged out. So a very, very small lead for gold for Honda Odyssey. Take a quick peek at leveling orders. That is a Zeus. And it's Devv piloting it, Habana. Hi, Michelle. So we're in bronze. Damn, there's no way you're referencing our boy Devv like that. We've had these blinks up. I haven't seen a ton of value from this as of this moment. I wonder if that would have been better suited as a second relic, potentially finding something else for the developers front line. Hi, home Doug. Bassett. There's the ultimate we talked about. Raijin Zeus ults dropped, but this time just not enough damage to find that return kill. Bassett and Raijin living with just a little HP to their name. Does that result in red buff? Should be an easy red buff for developers, so a kill goes toward Honda Odyssey, red toward the developers. There hasn't been a clear-cut winner on some of these fights just yet. Bassett actually, though, gets a beautiful blink in. Doesn't have the damage to punish the Zeus quite yet. You know, I've never been a massive component of Zeus cooldown. I'm curious. Does he go Bobble Zeus? Then he would definitely be cooking. Hey man, listen, I'm not a big component of cooldown Zeus in general, but he's feeling it. 30% cooldown already in the build. Purple is up, already shifting toward purple buff. Be a little conscious. Neither one of these DPS, either Raijin or Zeus, have beads for this next fight. Bassett, there's that post jump we talked about because they don't have the Phantom Shell. Post jump, she was the target and turned on the Raijin with this Fafnir able to turn onto the Zeus after this all in on this Bassett. And ultimately what was the engage from the developers turned into a counter engage onto this Zeus to damage this Fafnir with the CC. Can they find the final? Unfortunately, not with this cooldown from the Raijin. Cthulhu living with just a sliver of HP. Probably. Can you explain? I'm having a blonde moment, big dog. What do you mean by double GOT? Spell it out for my very dense human self. Oh, double gauntlet? Okay. We've talked about it several times. Thank you for spelling that out, because I'm just dumb. The Gauntlet of Thebes, we've talked about it, how obviously it doesn't stack. But a lot of this, at least from these fights, seems to be this ode, like they're splitting these fights a little bit. I agree that typically you don't want to see a double. I also don't think you're gonna immediately go into Thebes Cloak unless you have a particular character that's really good at stacking Cloak. Fabdul, I appreciate the big raid. Hopefully you enjoyed your games. You're sure will be spectating it directly after this set. But typically these warriors going a little bit different start. Instead, this Bastet actually pulls this Odin in. Can they find the taunt? If not, Fear, keeping this Odin under tower, force him to tank it. As Zeus trying to wrap around and get as much damage off as possible. Raijin forced to dash away. This is a little interesting. This Bastet actually went Thorns, trying to turn that damage back onto the Zeus. Fafnir slowly chasing down the Zeus. Finds a blink, jumps into ult. Do they have the CC to stun him? Is this going to be forced? They don't find the stun or the stun and leap not connecting. The Aegis from the Zeus. Just a big overextension. Unfortunately not able to find the pick, instead going down himself. The thirst, it is. You got a little thirsty there, sir. He's multi-talented and active. Multi-talented. This death, this overextension, has brought this game to dead even 12 minutes into the game. Zeus is going this 40% cooldown. I wonder if it's going to be a bobble Obshard. Beads dropped by Zeus due to the Bastet ult. Odin here alone on top of this Raijin. Raijin ults, but do they have the damage? A blink from the Bastet on the other side. Is she able to find that pick? She is. Zeus goes down in the 1v1. Red gonna be pulled for Honda Odyssey. The double jump in, Bastet and Raijin leaping on this Odin. Just not enough damage, especially until we get some percent pen on this Raijin. I'm waiting to see. It's got to be an Obshard, but I'm curious if he's gonna go this bobble 4th, if not 5th. He's gonna keep it. Just go Obshard Soul Reaver. So we'll find out. Keep in mind, guys, for those of you that are newer, the rule for the BBC Draft Joust League is one character / god is required to go 0 procs, i.e. full damage. Zeus not able to go alternate timeline because it has protections on it. Can't go this breastplate to deal with this Bastet dive. 0 protections makes that survivability so hard. Electing to grab speed for some of that mobility. How we doing, Luke? Odin jumps in. Bastet drops ult. Do they have the damage? They just force Odin beads. So Bastet's gonna be the target. Fafnir blinks in, trying to connect with this Zeus. Drops Horrific. It looks like this might be that go button instead. Switching targets onto this Cthulhu, forces Thorns and ultimate from this Cthulhu. Raijin forced to drop off. Can this Odin trying to catch this Raijin. Odin's wrapping. Odin able to find a blink. Engage. Instead, this Raijin forced to Aegis. Try to go into ult to fear away this Odin. Ultimately goes down in a T1, possibly for the developers. Good Aegis by the Zeus. Immuning the jump damage and the thorns at the same time. Does this Basset go down to Odin jump? Another pick for this Odin. 2 members down. T1 as well. Developers find a little break in this gridlock. And a red buff to their name. Look at this spike. They were a little down. Now 1,000 gold up. 2,200 XP. Looks like instead of Obshard, he's actually going to be going coin. Charon's coin 4th for the Zeus. I don't mind this at all. They should burn this fairly quickly with the Zeus. No member of Honda Odyssey here. Instead getting speed and minis. Bull already at a quarter HP. He's going to be uncontested. Developers are completely in this driver's seat at the moment. Can they find a big fight and look for this end? Problem with Rod is you're only going to have 10% pen. You could do that in the Knob Shard, but then you lose out on the Soul Reaver as well. Zeus engaged on, drops ult at his feet. Odin trying to buy some sort of separation. Faf and ult. They force this Zeus to be a quarter HP. They force him back. Cthulhu with this Odin are looking to continue to chase this down. This Odin single-handedly running down this Raijin. Basset drops ult. They just don't have a way to deal with this Odin completely running rampant. Raijin joining now. Cthulhu dash and ult down. Can they burn this target as Zeus is just joining this fight? Zeus ult coming up shortly. A blink in from this Odin. Do they have the damage? Basset on top of the Zeus. Forced to jump back away. Ultimately, a bull defended and bird still standing for Honda Odyssey, so a net win for them. A red buff for the Zeus. I'm a little concerned with a couple things when you're starting to look at this. Zeus speed still down for 72. Both relics still up for this Raijin. He is going this round at Hootie instead of the coin, so big call out by you probably. And a bobble for this Odin. We talked about it, P's and B's. Bobble be picked up for this Odin. The CDs. He's already doing a absurd amount, giving him an extra amount of cooldown. Only going to continue to heighten that. And no Phantom Shell at all. So post leaps, this Odin being able to lock down Honda Odyssey with ease. Zeus just continues to farm. This Odin jumping forward. The Zeus is in mid lane. Raijin forced to ult. But can he survive this dive from this Cthulhu Odin as they continue to chase down an Aegis forced? Just getting away. Basset on top of Zeus now. The extension not able to find the kill based off the Aegis from this Raijin. am extremely curious what his cooldowns are. So we're not going to see a bobble from the Zeus. Genuinely don't think it was good, but I was curious with the build. A double bobble on the other side with this Fafnir Bassett. Teams, such players, ticking over to this level 20, looking for the starter. The first starter already on this Raijin. Red pulled by Zeus. Honda Odyssey have this sentry on Bull, so they're gonna know when that is pulled by the developers and if and when they need to step in. Both these games have been incredibly close from both these teams. Game number 1 going to that 30-plus minute mark. I wonder if we're going to see a repeat of that in this game as well. All 3 members of Honda Odyssey are posturing toward this bull. Zeus is backing. I wonder if this is going to be that pull. It is pulled. I wonder if they're baiting that fight. This Odin is going to show on wave, so they're aware. Bassett alt immediately responded to with Cthulhu alt. So alt for alt. Zeus and Cthulhu both have starters. Fafnir, this might be a little bit of miscommunication. Drops alt trying to chase. Should be the signal for the back. Fafnir, the only one who isn't level 20. Bassett farming up for the starter. I wonder if she has it. Just taking over to it with this purple buff. At this point, I feel like it's going to be a farm up this Fafnir for starter. Last item slots just ticking over. Red spawned in, but the Zeus pathing toward Bull. Can they turn on this Odin post jump? I know he's got bobble, but do you have the damage? Double jump. Bull had half. They drop Odin cage. Raijin dashing in. Goes for an ultimate. They're going to have the cooldown. Bull is a go, but do they have the ability to burn him? Beads used by the Odin. Able to get away with these cooldowns. Cthulhu Zeus able to secure Bull, but now being chased down by all 3 members of Honda Odyssey. This could be that go button. They're able to secure the Zeus. Cthulhu in alt, trying to find any exchange he can. Odin just pathing out of spawn. Bassett forced him back with his half health. It should be a red buff to their name. I wonder if this can be an immediate back. Zeus down for 30. Should be an easy starter for the Fafnir as well. I wonder what the Raijin wants. Did he not grab red? We didn't grab red for the Raijin. I wonder if he wants blue buff? dude. Every time the song comes on, I think of Nat. I blame Nat for this one. Three baubles out of 6 gods in this game. All starters online. Zeus, the only one waiting to finish up. Final item slot. Bull completely worn off. Do they look for a push? Odin actually immediately dashes in or blinks in, goes for a cage. Is he able to find the solo onto this Raijin? Instead, the damage coming through. He's forced to jump away, but can the Bassett and Honda Odyssey find that pick? Odin walking away. So 2 alts for 2 alts. $27-minute game number 2. The margin for error is so small at this point where you're looking at 60-second death timers. Odin continuing to just run it down with this cooldown on this Raijin. Has to be so careful because Raijin is just taunting him under, forcing him to tank the bird, that overextension. In the meantime, the Bassett looking for a 2v1 and finds it under Zeus ult. 2 members of developers going down. 50-second timers. Cthulhu without ultimate actually might have it up shortly. Is just getting it. Cthulhu with ult and bird, the final thing standing between Honda Odyssey and a 2-0 win. Can they find it here? Turning as much damage as they can. 25 seconds for all 3 members strong, a Honda Odyssey and a wave. 18 seconds on Odin, almost assuredly a game number 2 win and a 2-0 set for Honda Odyssey. Finding a wonderful, competitive, clean set against the developers. Exceptionally played by everyone. Double fire blank, yeah. I think a big portion of that overextension from the Odin is creating a ton of separation. But him jumping in right in front of it, the bird, and then getting taunted under, and then Fafnir's there. Obviously, I can't throw all the blame on that because the Bassett able to 2v1 this Cthulhu Zeus is just unacceptable. It's just a rough situation. But when you're not able to throw any bruiserness on a Zeus or a mage, the survivability just gets real rough.